I'm doing my first theory video, and this is going to be done in multiple parts and stuff. Well, I'll be recording multiple parts. I'm trying to do it to make it less, needs more editing, just trying it out, and also means I can focus on a specific point. So, but if it just sounds a bit weird, I don't know, this is my first time doing this method, so yeah, do say if it sounds a bit all over the place, but I'm hoping for the best. It's going to be good. And if you haven't read the title, you will realise that it's about Pokemon humans evolving from Pokemon. I'm already messing up and so yeah, but I hope you enjoy, and let's get on to the video. Let's talk about the Sinnoh myths. They all obviously are some of the most intriguing parts of the Sinnoh region, and they're quite unique because they talk about things you never think Pokemon would go into. And this is where part of the idea about it starts. So the story, Sinnoh folk tales, is where I'm going to be looking at mainly as well. So I'm going to say thank you to Bold Peter for just putting all these things down, because I did a lot of research on it, so even though I have no sponsor or anything, but I'm just thanking them anyway. And this one is irrelevant, but the third and second one are probably more important, because they talk about, let's just break it down. There's once were Pokemon that became very close to humans, suggesting that they were very close as in friendship and equal, but quite similar to modern day, but in the Pokemon worlds. And they say that are ate together on the same table, basically applying that they were considered generally as equals. Finally, it says it was a time when there existed no difference to distinguish the two. So basically, it could be applying that they're equal power. They probably communicate with each other, and maybe look quite similar as well. So it could mean a multiple of things, saying that they could just be quite equal, but it could also be applying a lot of things. And in the Japanese Sinnoh myths and stuff, they do mention the humans and Pokemon getting married. I'm pretty sure, that was originally referred to Pokemon getting marrying each other. So yeah, it's obviously clear that they were able to do that. And remember, I like to just say they're folk myths, so they might not even be real, by the way, but yeah, the third one is definitely an intriguing one, because it's suggesting that Pokemon and humans were very close. However, they didn't exactly say that they are. Okay, the first line isn't important. It is quite clear. It's just Pokemon lives in forest. What more do I have to say? The second line, however, is a bit more interesting. It says, in the forest, the Pokemon shed its hide to sleep. So that makes me think, obviously, sheds its hide could be like its skin, like a snake sheds its skin, or it could be like a butterfly and a caterpillar, so a caterpillar goes into a cocoon to then later on in time turn into a butterfly. So and so kind of like that's kind of what I'm guessing. And then the first line says, awaken the human dawns the Pokemon hide to roam villages. Slightly making me think more of a raccoon, that part, because yeah, they basically get out of the raccoon and go and walk as a Pokemon human even. And so yeah, that's all I can. And yeah, so that's some very intriguing insight on what the Pokemon and humans were like together. So yeah, more about the humans themselves, because if you look at what humans in the Pokemon world do, you see that there is a bit more of a majority of the humans are more have special powers or something compared to our world. And let's first look at the black belts, and with the man with the muscles, I guess, and they're generally men. I don't know why. It's a bit sexist, I guess. Yes. Basically, there's, like, compared to our world, you can see, like, 1 or 2, maybe even 5 people who are into karate, and yes, there are quite a lot. And I say 5 people in karate in the home world, or our world. It's, I mean, like, in the town or something. Maybe a bit more, maybe a little less, I don't know, I'm not into that type of thing, but anyway. But in Pokemon, it seems to be a more of a common thing. And you could argue, well, it could be this, they like to wear and show off these things, but they're all black belts. Like, not, and I don't know much about the colours and stuff, however, if it's anything like Club Penguin, black means generally the highest. I could be wrong, there might be higher again, but black is quite high, I know that for sure. So, yeah, is there these, and okay, you could argue, well, if they were only one of them and stuff in the games and stuff, it would be fine. Even in fact, if there were one in each region, then it would be fine. But there aren't. There's at least it's a trainer class that appears in every single region, and as well as that, it's also there's multiple of them, and possibly even on the same route. And yeah, and of course you could say, well, they could just get stronger and that's more of a fitness things, and we could technically have those powers. Well, let's look at a different trainer class, and that's the psychic trainer class. They are a lot more impossible in this world. There are probably 1 or 2 exceptions, but I don't know any, so I'm sure, but there might be some differences and stuff, but yeah, they seem to be like every other person in the Pokemon world. Like, there's Sabina, who, she's obviously probably the most well-known psychic trainer, and as well being a gym leader, and she and a lot of other people seem to have these psychic powers and be able to throw Pokeballs and stuff, and that's not normal at all. And of course a lot of you could be saying, well, she could be using your trickery, but then again, she's a powerful magician, that's for sure. And to be fair, you wouldn't be, there's a bit too many for it not to be the case. And okay, and you might be thinking, well, 2 examples, okay, but is that really enough to say that that we're on this planet Earth over the than in the Pokemon world? Well, good question. And my thoughts are that there are also other ways that humans seem to have more powers and stuff, and that is looking at the ninja boys. I say ninja boys, there are actually multiple ninjas like Koga as well, but they seem to be mostly boys. However, if they can be a ninja and they're a boy, well, that's clearly way too powerful and stuff. And okay, you could be arguing that they're probably just dressed up and stuff. However, I'm not so sure. If you look at the X and Y anime and stuff, they do have ninjas showing around, and they have like super speed, they can teleport, they can hide all over the place. And again, Koga can just make multiple versions of him, and also they can like do body swaps and also do loads of things, like that woman who, I don't know her name, but she is actually over 100 years old, but she looks extremely young. And yeah, I think ninjas seem to be very well powered. There aren't as many in specific areas of the world. It seems to be mainly Hoenn and Sinnoh that they show up a bit more, but so it might be more of a rarer class, but and they'd only teach it like in specific areas in the real world, but it's definitely a point that should be looked at. Next thought is going to be fire breathers. They are a lot more more common in the Pokemon world, and you can get them in the real world. I am definitely not saying that they can't. I have seen stuff on TV, and there are fire breathers, basically. However, they're not too common, but Johto seems to have quite a bit of them. So, Moto girls, they seem to also have some special abilities, like with the dance things and summerings and stuff. you could argue that maybe just summerings, but yeah. These also, the last three are not as important as the first three, but I thought that there's something to mention. And finally, there's the channelers and mages and hexmaniac people. They all seem to also be appearing more often, and they are definitely talking to Pokemon compared to our human equivalent. Reason why the humans seem to be a lot more stronger. And if you don't look at like these special classed Pokemon characters, like you could say, well, they might just be more appearing in the Pokemon games and they're not actually, there are more other types. If you just look at Ash, he has been seen to be able to jump really far, rarely get injured, run quite fast, and also him and his friends seem to have quite quick reflexes, because whenever they fall off a hill, they seem to grab themselves very quickly. So you can see what I'm trying to say here. They seem a bit inhumanly strong for it. So that's, I think, most of my positives. The idea that humans come from Pokemon, and is that, what about the animals? And I know what you're thinking, are there animals in the Pokemon games? And I'm going to prove to you, no. There aren't any in the world, I should really say. And the reason why I say that is because, well, we haven't seen many animals. We've heard about them, we've seen a worm, and that's pretty much it. Okay, let's first worm. The worm could be a Pokemon. That's a simple answer, really. It could be an unknown Pokemon. Pokemon are being discovered all the time. Ho-Ho, for example, was flying on the first episode, and let's just say, when we've seen the worm, it was on the third Pokemon episode. I doubt that we've seen any other worms since, I don't think, and I don't think Pokemon would put in other animals much anyway. So, okay, the second thing was about animals, like in the Pokédex entries, and that's a good point. They do talk about them. However, I don't think they're actually animals in the sense of our animals. They're more like a type of kingdom or something, if you know what I mean. They're part of a specific Pokemon kingdom and stuff, like the cat kingdom, a more specific word for it, and it's all sciencey, and I'm not a massive scientist person, so I only remember this from learning it from school, and to be fair, you do learn a lot from school, surprisingly, even if it's completely only useful in a Pokemon video. Yay! And, yeah, so that is obviously one of the things that I think, basically what I'm trying to say is that I think that Animal Pokédex entries, Magikarp is a fish Pokemon, and as well as Feebas. And if you think about fishes, they look like fishes, so they're probably what they consider about like what a fish is. That's what they call a fish, because they look the same. Maybe they were even once the same Pokemon. I don't know, but they're basically from the same family. They're from the fish family, basically. And there's also other ones like the mouse is, because Pikachu is a mouse. And as well as Ratiata. And Ratiata, so is technically not a rat, he's considered as a mouse. I'm sure this will, does make sense to some of you, but basically they look the same, they're the same, they must come from a similar species, and we're going to call them mouses. There's also Cyndaquil, who is considered as the, fire mouse Pokemon. They must also look at Cyndaquil and thought, he also looks like a mouse in certain ways. We're going to put him in the mouse thing. However, let's establish him a bit more because he looks slightly different and put fire mouse onto it. But he's still part of that, like, mouse family. So even though he's not an actual mouse, he is part of the mouse family. On edit, so if it sounds a bit out of place, that's partly because it's been edited different time in, and you probably can tell by the clothes. But I just want to say that I have done a bit of research beforehand, and I have realised they do mention that there are real bugs in here. My only conclusion really is, A, that maybe it was on a very early episode, or so they might just want to retcon that, but they haven't, and they haven't mentioned real bugs again, or B, they're like another thing that's evolved from Pokemon. That's my only other conclusion, really. But yeah, I thought just to mention that because I'm sure someone will point it out. But I think the bugs must have come from something very similar from Caterpie. So yeah, that's what I just wanted to say. So let's go back to the video. Classification of a Pokemon. So yeah, that's probably really, I could have just said that to start with, but I'm trying to explain my point. So yeah, of the could be an issue with against my argument is with Mega Evolution, because a trainer has a keystone and the Pokemon has a Mega Stone, and apparently the infinity energy between them that makes the bond and stuff that connects with each other means that the Pokemon can Mega Evolve. But we don't know how exactly it works with humans. So we assume that it has to be a human that has the keystone. That's what we're told. We don't know if that is actually true. So it could be that any Pokemon could hold the keystone with a great bond. And I guess humans have the strongest bond with Pokemon and stuff. So it could be something to do with that. Also, we have to think about that the ultimate weapon that created Mega Evolution in the first place happened 3,000 years ago. And humans were around at that point, so the keystones might have already adapted to it. Also, there's another thing is that, and this is a kind of another idea of what I have, is that maybe keystones could have Mega Evolved humans. Okay, this is quite an intriguing theory, but in itself, but maybe if there's enough bond, if us humans were battling and the Pokemon was like helping us along, maybe the keystone would Mega Evolve us humans instead of the Pokemon. I don't know, we haven't got any evidence ever Mega Stones can do it, and also keystones are a lot smaller than Mega Stones, so that is a very, very slight theory, so it's probably very wrong, but there is obviously that possibility. I'm not really sure about Mega Evolution. There are obviously makes it very slightly problematic, but then again, the ultimate weapon was made by a human to stop the ultimate, War 3000, Pokemon War 3000 years ago. So it's not perfect, but you know, maybe it didn't kill any humans. I don't know. And negatives out of the way on if this theory is right or wrong. Let's look at the conclusions and stuff. Obviously, I'd like to just say, this video could be outdated in Generation 8. They could just say, definitely humans came from Pokemon, or they could just say the complete opposite. I don't know. Maybe we should just be asking Arceus, but I don't know. But I do feel that Mega Evolution is probably one of the main problems, because I have debunked, I feel, the Pokemon theory, but of course you could. I feel that there's enough evidence to say at the moment in time that I feel that humans and Pokemon are the same species. Obviously, there is a slight complicated, obviously you could look at Kadabra and definitely say that humans and Pokemon are the same species, because Kadabra is actually, say that maybe a boy once turned into a Kadabra, so it could, that obviously definitely connects us to Pokemon, but I could maybe just said that from the start. They're not, Pokemon came from us, instead of their own. But obviously there's a bit more, more complicated things like, obviously there's the points that, like, ghost-type Pokemon, and are they actually alive or dead? I don't know. There's a lot of things that go around in the Pokemon world, but I feel at the moment in time, from all the evidence I've established, and I'm probably completely missing something that's very important to this theory video that is probably just going to debunk it straight away, but I feel this is enough evidence to say that, yes, humans and Pokemon, yes, they're related. We come from Pokemon. So thank you for watching. This is probably one of the more bigger projects on the outside stuff. I will probably be doing one on Sunday, or probably tomorrow when this video is all edited and put up. And I know editing doesn't really, you probably won't tell too well, but I do edit these videos a bit, but yeah, that's not the point. Let's not move on from the editing part. But yeah, Sundown will do my weekly thing. However, I don't think that's going to be anything amazing like I've been promising you, and it might also not have much editing. But we'll see. I could be dying to do something really good, so hopefully you enjoyed this video, and hopefully you look forward to the Sunday video. Unless I'm forgetting something, and like I know I'm seeing, well, some people who hopefully will be coming over. So yeah, hope you enjoy, and thank you for watching.